Hello nieces, hello nephews, it's your Uncle Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we do unbiased technical analysis. It's currently 7 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday and Uncle Charles is going to do some analysis based on yesterday on Friday's price action, and I'm going to give you guys my levels and setups, but I also want to give you guys a little bit of extra value today. At least I hope you guys consider it valuable, but I want to talk to you guys about the areas of liquidity, the AOL for short. Okay, now what is the AOL? What is the area of liquidity? The idea is that they are areas on the chart above or below certain price levels where stop losses could be building up. Okay, those are areas of liquidity, and you know the market makers, they love to try to take our stops out before making the real move that they really want to make. Okay, they can see where we set our stop losses. Okay, so I want to identify or show you guys some examples of areas of liquidity. Okay, there's three ways you can see areas of liquidity. Okay, you can see either the peak high or the peak low, or when we get double highs or double lows, even triple highs and triple lows where they're equal levels to each other, or you can get a trend liquidity where we get a trend like this, an uptrend or a downtrend line, and then the liquidity will be either just below it or just above it. Okay, let me explain. So I'll give you an example here where we had an area of liquidity, right? You got a double top all the way over here. Okay, this was back in early February, earlier this year, early February. Okay, double top, that means above that pink line. Okay, I'll change this line to white. All right, so above this white line, there's liquidity up there. There's money. There's a bunch of stop losses that are most likely set up. Why? Because as retail traders, we are taught to set our stop losses either above the support level or just below the support level where we enter, or just above the resistant level where we enter. So we're shortened from resistant. We're taught to set our stop losses just above resistant. Okay, so just above this white trend line right here, which is around 458, is the area of liquidity. And you can see what happened here back on late March earlier this year. The market makers, they took out all that area of liquidity. They took out all the stops, got the shorts to stop, and look what they did. Boom. Gave us a false breakout setup. So we want to use the AOL, the concept of the AOL, and combine it with setups like false breakouts and false breakdowns. Does that make sense? That's one with a double top. Okay. Here's one where it's a trend, right? You start from January 24th low, connects to February 24th low, and connects to May 12th low. But look what happened. Look exactly what happened on May 20th. They took out the stops and they push it up. That's another thing that you guys need to notice if it's an area of liquidity, if the market maker just going to grab liquidity or not. It doesn't happen. It doesn't take them long. It's usually very fast when they grab, the stops, and then they push it back up. Okay. If you don't want to count that one, I count that one. But if you don't want to count that one, we can extend it further. And you can see here, this is a good example of market makers taking out the stops. See, at multiple tests, take out the stop before they push it back up. Okay, let me see if I can find you guys another example. Here's another perfect example. We had an area of liquidity right here. Okay, this was back in April to May, early May. We had a double top right there. So that means just above that bluish line was money, bunch of stops set. And then what happened back in August, mid-August? All right, we also hit this multi-month trend line. We hit the 200-day moving average, but the market makers also took out the area of liquidity before pushing back down. Okay, you guys understand the concepts of areas of liquidity, guys? All right, so we look at the most recent one. All right, we had this yellow trend line connecting from June 17th to July 14th low. Okay, we also got two more touches, September 1st and September 2nd. You guys can see that right there with the wicks. And then look what happened on September 6th. Boom. Market makers pushed the price down, took out the areas of liquidity, right? And that yellow zone would be the area of liquidity. That's where all the money's at. They took it out before pushing it back up. All right, does that make sense? So when we look at this chart now, where is all our areas of liquidity? Where is our AOL levels, okay? We look here. We got a peak low right there. Boom. That's one. We got another peak low right down here. Okay? That means there's money there, guys. There's money there. All right? There's money here. Okay? And we also have another peak low. That's the June low. So there's money down there as well. Okay? So where I got these dollar signs, those are the AOLs. There's money there with possible stops being set. Okay? Now where else do we see AOLs? Well, I got this trend line. We didn't break out of it just yet. Okay? Readjust it a bit. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. So in theory, in that yellow zone, okay, we got a bunch of stops sitting up there. Okay? So of course, we can find more areas of liquidity. We got some right up here as well. This was back in August 26th high. Okay, we got a peak high right there. So whoever sold or shorted from the August 26th high, their stops are probably set just above there. Okay. And what else? Where else can we see areas of liquidity or potential AOL? So we got this multi-month trend line from the January high. Got a couple tests here, March 20th and March 29th. Got a test here on August 16th. So that means, in theory, there's money sitting up there. Okay, in this orange zone, there's an area of liquidity, AOL. All right? So, based on these AOLs, what I'm thinking, if it's bearish, okay? If it's bearish, because you know how Uncle loves to talk about bearish scenario and bullish scenario. If it's bearish and these AOL levels come into play, it's possible that the market makers could possibly push SPY up a little higher, grab all the area of all the liquidity that's in this zone based on this trend line, and if they can push it up. So that means they'd have to get a little above 407. If we get a false breakout of 407, meaning we see SPY closing above 407 and then it drops below, chances are market makers took out a bunch of stop losses based on this trend line that we got, and they're gonna push it down lower. Now remember, we got liquidity here based on this peak low. We got liquidity down here based on that peak low, and of course June low as well. That means, and I'm just guessing, if market makers decide to push it down, they will most likely go and catch these liquidities, okay? That means they're probably gonna push it down lower, all right? If SPY does continue to go upwards, all right? If continue to go up, if the market makers' plan is to go up and take the liquidity out this orange zone, okay? Obviously, if it clears 407, this is where we got to combine our support levels with it. If it clears 407 and it holds, there's a chance SPY can go take out the liquidity from the August 26th peak high and possibly this multi-month trend line. Okay? That could take SPY probably up to the 428 or around there. Okay? I'm just saying, if it clears 407, that's a sign of more upside, all right? But if it clears 407 and give us a false breakdown, they most likely will stop loss hunting, and they're going to push it down, and most likely we're going to go lower. So for the bearish scenario, all right, SPY is around 46.6. Below that, I got a critical level at 405. That's the 38.2 retracement level, okay, from June low to August high. If 405 fails, I would feel a little more comfortable swinging puts to the downside, because 405 was a very critical level that was captured. So that would put SPY in false breakout mode if 405 is lost. All right? So only bullish If SPY can take out this area of liquidity and hold it, that means SPY needs to hold above 407 to put more upside in play. Okay, above 407, I have resistance around 409, 411-ish, 412-ish. A critical one at 415, that's the 23.6 retracement level. Okay, and like I said, we have area liquidity up there in the 422s and around the 428, 429 levels. Okay, but 407 must clear and hold to trigger more upside. Okay, for downside, we need to see 405 fail to trigger more downside. I will look for puts if 405 fails. I will look for calls if 407 clears. I will manage my risk, because if my trade is invalidated, I will cut my loss. That means if I entered hoping that 407 holds and 407 does not hold, my trade is invalidated. I'm cutting my loss. If I'm shorting hoping that 407 fails and holds as resistant, but then it recaptures, I'm cutting my loss because my trade is invalidated. Below 405, I will be targeting 403. I have a level at 43.5. There's a gap around 400.8, and of course the 400 level, all right? But the big critical level as well is 397. If 397 fails, obviously we will see more downside. I got the next level around 393, and of course 388.4, that was September 6th low, and that's also around my 61.8 retracement level, 388.7-ish. Okay, but like I said, we got liquidity down low here. If the market makers are deciding to push it down, they're most likely going to head lower than what September 6th low was. Okay, guys? So that's area liquidity, a little bit of area liquidity, and how we're going to combine it with our levels, how we're going to trade it. All right? Play the great setup to combine with the AOL is the false breakout, false breakdown setup. But you got to learn and know how to identify where the potential AOL zones are. And then you combine it with the trade setups like the false breakout and the false breakdown. So I identify here that we have an AOL level, all right, just above 407, maybe up to 410, 411-ish, okay? But like I said, we don't want to assume, we need confirmation. So if it hits that zone and then it drops back below 407 and 405, that's a sign market makers will stop loss hunting. We're probably going to head down lower to grab these liquidities down here. Okay, guys, I hope you guys found that helpful. It's a little more complicated than my usual analysis. If you guys like that type of analysis, definitely hit the like button. If this video get 200 likes, I will continue to talk more about the AOL levels, zones, and I might even make a video dedicated to that. Okay, so 200 likes, I'll make a video talking about AOL, and I'll combine it with my usual analysis. Okay, other than that, we're gonna move on to triple Q. Triple Q, I had a trend line here. I actually adjusted it. Yesterday I had a trend line like this, starting from June low, connecting to June 30th and July 5th low. Okay, and as you can see, when I have it like that, it looks like triple Q, which is back testing that trend line as a resistant. Okay, so it didn't recapture it yet. All right, but when I adjust it down to a different low, when I connect it to from June low, of course, to July 14th low, which is similar to how I have it SPY. Also have a third touch August 30th and a fourth touch August 31st. And well, when I have it like that, we got the recapture of that trend line, and also triple Q cleared the 50-day moving average. Okay, the 50-day moving average is at 306.5-ish. Triple Q managed to close at 307. Okay, but I do have this trend line here, starting from August 16 high, connected to August 26 high, and we got the third touch today. So very similar to area liquidity for SPY. In this blue zone here, we have an AOL, okay, and it can be up to 309 to 310 level. Okay, but if we see that triple Q breaks above it, hits that zone, all right, it needs to be above 307, and then it breaks back below 307. That's a false breakout setup. That's a false breakout setup, which is very bearish. So, and it's also a sign that market makers hit the AOL stop loss hunt, and they're most likely going to push it down lower. And we can see here that we do have an AOL just down here. All right, just below 291, down to possibly 287-ish. Okay, so if they do decide to push it back down, they're most likely going lower than 291. And of course, we can find more AOLs down here. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to find it. So if you guys use the info I gave you back when I covered SPY, how to find an AOL, I'm going to leave that up to you guys to find the AOL for QQQ, okay? So pretty much, I'm bearish if we drop back below 306.5. I have a support here around 303.5, and that would be a false breakout if QQQ drops back below 303.5. Very bearish with 299.4, 296.7, and 294 back in play. And I'm favoring we drop even lower because of the AOL zones. I'm favoring we drop even lower if 303.5 fails. Okay, but as 307 can hold, as long as it holds, we have more upside target around 309.6 and possibly a breakout of this multi-month trend line that I got here. Yep, all the way over here. We broke out of it before if there was an AOL zone, that all got taken out, but we had a false breakout. Possibly could back test that orange line as a resistance before pushing back down. We will see, okay? So above 307, I'm bullish. 309.6 with 311.7 and possibly 315 back in play. Below 307, 303.5 is in play, and below 303.5, I am very, very bearish on QQQ, okay? And here I got Tesla. I'm gonna go to the daily chart. All right, got this trend line right here, this blue trend line that I talked to you guys about, that connected July 5th to July 13th low. And as you can see, we've been talking about the AOL all video long, and you can see the AOL zone got taken out, okay, because we did have a third touch on August 31st. AOL zone got taken out before pushing even higher. I also had a trend line here connecting August 16th, August 25th, and August 26th high. We got that breakout yesterday, and Tesla showed follow through. Also had this yellow trend line, okay, that connected August 9th, August 22nd, and August 23rd low. Recapture that, okay? So first support will be for Tesla is 297. As long as 297 holds, I am bullish with more upside in play. 309.6, possibly 314-ish. We do have an area of liquidity up there that market makers could look to go grab, all right, and screw over some of these short sellers, all right? And maybe even if there's enough short sellers there, and you know, they're going to be forced to cover it, that could trigger more upside too, okay? Just something to think about. But to be bearish, I need to see Tesla lose that 297 level to trigger more downside and put us in a false breakout scenario. All right, guys, so that's my three ETF and stocks that I love to cover and actually trade. I hope you guys found that valuable. All right, like I said, if this video get 200 likes or more, I'll cover more about the AOLs, okay? If not, I'm gonna go back to the basics, how I usually have my videos, where I keep it nice and simple, okay? And here is the option flow. I gotta sign in here. Signing in. And let me go to SPY, filter it for 500K premiums or above, and holy moly, 77% in the puts. Dark flow is looking bullish right now for SPY though, just a FYI. Okay, but option flow is looking bearish. Seeing a lot of big money betting to the downside, a lot of big sides. They entered around 43.7-ish though. This was early yesterday. They're probably most likely down on it, but they do have the expiration date out to October 21. So, you know, they got time. Okay, but overall big money is looking bearish. Dark pool though, dark pool is looking bullish as of right now, but it can always change. And here's QQQ, 73% in the puts, okay? Dark pool's not showing much. Oh, okay, so it's showing some bullishness for dark pool as well for QQQ. Option flow is bearish, 73%. And let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla is 71% in the call. So big money is bullish on Tesla as of right now. Okay, guys, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are looking to be for a profitable trading community, think about joining Uncle's Discord, okay? Yesterday, I had a great plan for SPY. The plan was calls above the 43.5 level, and SPY popped all the way up to 407. That's just one of the trades and setups that I give out. Okay, so just something to think about. I appreciate it if you guys join. It would mean a lot, but it also means a lot that you guys are watching my video even till the end like this. So have a great weekend. Peace.